the face of a man who's made an historic deal. Israel's leader talking today with the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and President Trump. Already there were signs of warming ties with Arab Gulf states, which share fears about Iran. Over a year ago, this was a surprise official visit, an Israeli minister in the UAE. Her delegation there singing in the Jewish Sabbath. Now such scenes could become normal.
We announced the establishment of a full and formal peace between Israel and the UAE. It includes the mutual opening of embassies, direct flights, and many, many other bilateral agreements. This is the greatest advancements toward peace between Israel and the Arab world in the last 26 years.
But the Palestinians feel betrayed. Past peace plans promised diplomatic relations with powerful Arab states only when their conflict with Israel had been solved. Recently, they've been fighting Israeli plans to annex parts of the West Bank, which they want for a future state. Tonight, the UAE justified what it called its bold step, saying Israel had now agreed not to take action. Meanwhile, the White House congratulated itself.
By uniting two of America's closest and most capable partners in the region, something which said could not be done, this deal is a significant step towards building a more peaceful, secure, and prosperous Middle East.
For Mr. Trump, with presidential elections looming, and his friend Benjamin Netanyahu, this is a major foreign policy achievement. In a measure of its great popularity with Israelis, tonight the Tel Aviv municipality was lit up with the Emirati flag. Yolande Nell, BBC News, Jerusalem.
After 49 years, Israel and the United Arab Emirates will fully normalize their diplomatic relations.
Israel and the United Arab Emirates reached a historic deal on Thursday that will lead to a full normalization of diplomatic relations between the two states, a move that reshapes the political landscape of the Middle East. Under the deal, which the Trump administration helped broker, Israel has agreed to suspend plans to annex part of the occupied West Bank. The deal also firms up opposition to regional power Iran, which the UAE, Israel, and the U.S. view as the main threat in the conflict-ridden region. The two states will exchange embassies and ambassadors and meet in the coming weeks to sign bilateral agreements regarding investment, tourism, direct flights, security, telecommunications, and other issues.
Just a few moments ago, I hosted a very special call with two friends.
The agreement was sealed in a phone call on Thursday between Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. In a statement, the Crown Prince stressed that the agreement would stop further Israeli annexation of Palestinian territories, which Israel has said was waiting for approval from Washington. But Netanyahu, in a speech later on Thursday, said annexing parts of the West Bank, territory Palestinians seek for their own state, was still on the table, and that the Trump administration asked Israel to, quote, temporarily suspend doing so in order that Thursday's peace deal be reached. When asked by a reporter Thursday how long is temporary, Trump's senior advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner, who worked on the deal, said this.
Somewhere between a long time and a short time. That's what temporary means.
Trump told reporters similar deals are being discussed with other countries in the region.
And I think you'll be seeing some very exciting things, including ultimately with the Palestinians. I think that's going to be happening at some point.
The agreement, to be known as the Abraham Accord, gives Trump a foreign policy success as he seeks re-election in November.